Hi, my name is John Kelly of the Kelly Law Team. I want to talk to you about car accident, traumatic brain injury cases in Phoenix and what they're worth. Now, if you have a traumatic brain injury, you've gotten a concussion in an accident, the question becomes, what are your injuries and what those may be worth in a personal injury claim? I'll be honest, it's very across the board with traumatic brain injury, and there are a lot of things that you can do to make sure your dollar figure is higher than some of the smaller settlements that occur in a traumatic brain injury. It's unfortunate because traumatic brain injuries are underdiagnosed, they're not understood, and so people often suffer a long time and have very traumatic symptoms and just don't get the medical records that show what they've been through. So the difference between a $10,000 settlement for a traumatic brain injury or a mild traumatic brain injury or $100,000 sometimes is not that much different in what the symptoms are. You need to make sure of a few things. One is to get the right medical treatment. Hospitals are looking for acute injuries. They're wanting to make sure that your brain isn't bleeding, that there's nothing on the scan that's going to kill you, and they'll actually release you with a mild traumatic brain injury all the time and just tell you to follow up with your primary care doctor. What we find is that some people don't have a primary care doctor, and they may wait a few weeks, and they may just deal with the dizziness, the headaches, the lack of memory, some of the main symptoms, just thinking, well, this may get better. It's very important to get into a primary care doctor that can diagnose this and follow up with the hospital records and make sure that you're getting referred out to a neurologist, a neuropsych, someone who can actually do the tests that are going to be able to diagnose what you're going through and show the differences objectively for us. Because it's one thing to have our clients telling a jury what they feel like they've been through, a subjective feeling of, I feel like I'm not always there, I have confusion. It's another thing to be able to put up an expert on the stand who's a neuropsychologist that can, basically teach the jury how MTBIs, mild traumatic brain injuries, work and how they progress and how they heal or not, and then attribute that directly to the client. The final thing that I would say on this point is to have family members, maybe your spouse, maybe your children, take notes about what you've been through and what symptoms they're noticing. At my firm, we have clients that tell us their spouses write down that, my wife would start making dinner and walk away from it and forget that there's food on the stove. And this may happen multiple times in a week. These are the kind of witness notes that are very helpful to us to kind of tell the human story of what the people that have these injuries go through and can add a lot of value to the claim, actually. So if you have a brain injury, a concussion from an auto accident in Phoenix, please give us a call. I'm happy to walk you through the process of making sure you're setting it up for success in the end. My number at Kelly Law Team is 602-283-4122.